Presented by Kamuk Ukulele Magazine, this is Ukulele Stories. Dani, Joy, and Perry Stauffer, welcome to Ukulele Stories.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, pleasure. I was trying to think when the first time I met you was. I believe it was at the NAMM show in LA, and I reckon it was maybe 2017, but I'm not good with dates. What do you think?
I think it was 2017.
I think it was because I was looking back through the email for this link, and 2018 dinner in Sydney came up.
So there you go.
The next year is when we came and met you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Have you got any plans to come down under again?
Yes.
Yes.
Not. It's not on the calendar yet, but it's definitely
it's on the list.
It's on our list.
Yeah.
It's on our short list.
Excellent. Well, we'd be glad to have you for sure. Now, I was reading your little bio on your website, Dani, and apparently, so only 2010 is when you started playing uke. Is that true?
Yeah. What happened was I got home from school, and my dad gave me a ukulele as my college graduation gift.
Oh, nice. A nice ukulele or just a regular ukulele?
It was a decent one. It was a Kala spalted mango, curly mango Kala.
Nice.
I remember that, but I did switch it out for a different one, which I
really?
have proudly hanging up on my wall. My very first ukulele.
Nice.
And then I started collecting them, of course, after that.
Of course you did. How many do you have now?
Well, I've inherited a few, so I think I still have probably 10, probably under 10.
Yeah.
We've cut way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. How many do you have, Perry?
Probably three or four. Yeah.
Well,
we had the shop too, so we've got.
Of course.
Yeah.
We really had a bunch for a while, and now we've the ones I still have are kind of the ones that I've damaged.
Yeah, right.
Messing around with. So I've got a lot of
shop seconds.
We used to like to say we're best known for turning our A stock into B stock. So those have become some of our players and stuff. And
I will say my favorite one though is my Pepe Jr. custom build that Perry got me for our anniversary one year.
Beautiful. Well, we'll get on. We'll get on to Pepe soon.
Yeah, it was our wooden anniversary. So.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I think everyone should get a uke for their wooden anniversary.
Yeah, Dani. Make a note.
Well, let's get back to the shop for a second, because I think before I even met you guys, I was cognizant of the Strum Shop in Roseville, in California.
That was my dad's shop.
Yeah, so that's your dad's stew. Do you want to speak to that a little bit and the creation of the shop and how it kind of molded your uke journey a little bit?
Yeah, it did. My dad, he's passed in 2016, but he started he was a sound engineer his whole life, and he started teaching ukulele in the back of a little music store. The music shop owner didn't really want to promote ukulele, so he got together with the manager and said, what if we make our own shop, And my dad had a dream of like a wall of rainbow ukulele, like a wall of so much color that it looked like a big rainbow. And so he and Dan Elliott got together and formed the Strum Shop, which was mainly formed so that the ukulele club would have somewhere to meet. And then it took off from there. They made it bigger, moved into a bigger space. And I got home from college, and I was going to, I have a design degree in illustration, and I was going to go be an artist. And my dad said, why don't you just teach ukulele for a little while first? And I was like, Dad, I don't really play ukulele. And he's like, I'll teach you. So I taught side by side with him for 6 years.
Wow.
And slowly started getting involved with the Reno Ukulele Festival, and just kind of, the little bricks just kind of add on to each other until all of a sudden you're like, oh, I guess ukulele is my whole life now. I didn't have that as planned.
It sneaks up on you, doesn't
wonderful.
it?
Yeah, it does.
How did your dad get into uke then? He's an audio engineer, but why did he choose uke?
Well, he played guitar and banjo and some mandolin, but then he saw a video of Jake Shimabukuro playing While My Guitar Gently Weeps, the famous video in Central Park. And he started getting really curious about it. So while I was away at school, he was writing me and going, "Hey, you ever tried ukulele?" And I was like, "Dad, I play guitar." He's like, "You should try this little ukulele thing. It'll be really fun." And I got home and realized like you can do the Beatles and jazz and all these things on it. It was so much more. It made me feel more capable as an artist to have 4 nylon strings instead of 6,
Mm.
And yeah, he just all started with a YouTube video, and then he started diving in and learning from whoever was online at the time. That would have been way back in 2009. Kind of early ukulele world was opening up at the time.
Yeah, it was really starting to get big around there. What about you, Perry? I think I'm sort of less familiar with your uke story. How did you get into it?
Well, I had a ukulele. I didn't really play it much. It kind of sat in the corner until when I met Dani, and we met in the studio, and I was playing bass. And
I was going to ask you how you met. So
yeah.
So was that for Dani's album or before that?
No, it was for an album. Dani was producing a song for a guy who had written some lyrics. He was an advertising guy who'd always wanted to write and record songs, and he had written this Hawaiian song. And so Dani was recommended as somebody to create the music and then find the players and stuff. And so the pedal steel player was my contact. So they said, "Hey, do you know an upright bass player?" And they called me. And so I came down, and then Dani was there, and we started dating and stuff. And so I started playing the ukulele a little bit out of being competitive, I think.
With me?
Yeah. With the new girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're willing to admit that.
I didn't like the idea of Dani being so much better than me at the ukulele, so I started playing.
And tell him how your ukulele was tuned.
So the ukulele that I had before we met was tuned like a violin.
Oh.
And I was using it to practice. I was playing violin also. Okay. So I was trying to learn my scales with a fretted instrument. So
I see. What tuning is that? I'm unfamiliar with violin tuning.
It's GCE. No, what? It's G D A E.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it's the opposite. It's close. Opposite of a bass.
Right. Oh, brilliant. How did you become? I mean, you're an excellent bass player. How did that come about?
Well, I was playing guitar before that, and I was always a mediocre guitar player. And so this is my high school days. So if I wanted to be in a band, I had to play bass because all of my friends played guitar. Nobody played bass. So I got a bass so that I could be in the band. But it turned out I took to that. And so it caught on. And so I did that for years and years and years until Dani and I met. And then I fell in love with the ukulele.
Well, so he fell in love with the ukulele. So he taught me some songs on the bass. And now we swap a lot of the time.
That's so cool.
I don't play the upright, but I play the Ohana, acoustic bass.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
And together you've got the Starlight Ukulele Academy. So you do a lot of teaching. Is that kind of your main uke activity at the moment?
Yeah. Well, now we've added a few things. So yes, it's when the pandemic hit and everybody went online, it was kind of a really interesting situation because all of our retired, our clients are mainly retirees. So asking them to learn something online is pretty difficult unless we're all locked in our homes for 2 years. And so everybody kind of had a crash course. And so the Starlight Ukulele Academy, it went from 1 class a week. And it was clear that Perry also wanted to teach. So he started a blues class and I did my fingerstyle class. And then he started a jazz class. And then people were saying, what about beginners? So I have a beginner class. Wow. And then Perry did the bass. So we do 5 classes a month, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And we've got this beautiful community of people online that we had met, all along our travels. We had been collecting emails and getting a list going of people we could communicate with. And if it weren't for Zoom, we wouldn't have gotten to know people from all over the world, but mainly all over the United States and Canada. It's really, we've got friends all over now. And so now when we plan our tours, we get to go meet up with them in person, which is really fun. Perry hadn't spent much time teaching, but he had all the knowledge. So he was excited to share blues and improv and jazz and stuff. So I think he started teaching. And then along the last 6 years, you've become quite a fine teacher. Let's say.
Well, coming from you, Dani, that means a lot. Dani is a fantastic teacher. I think you inspire me.
Well,
nice.
I'm pinching him under the table, telling him what to say.
I think Dani's dad was somebody that I think about a lot. I never took a class from him, but I just know from the stories that Dani described that he was always very enthusiastic about teaching. I think you have that ability now, and I think when Dani started out, it was as she described, where she was just learning to play the ukulele, so you were always just one step ahead of your students.
Yeah, early on. My dad said, just stay one lesson ahead and keep learning. And if someone asks you a question you don't know, just tell them, now don't get ahead of yourself. We'll talk about that next week. And then come and ask me and I'll tell you what the answer is.
But the thing is that there's a real value in that, is that if you remember if you just learned the material recently, then you know where all the light bulb moments are.
Yeah, and the hurdles and stuff.
And
there is some advantage to that.
And so when I'm putting together a class, I try to think back to whenever I learned an idea and think about, okay, where are those moments in the lesson?
Yeah. Especially teaching on Zoom, you can see people's facial expressions, but a lot of them are poker face, So you have to have your intuition guide you and say, like, I have a feeling somebody is wondering about this, or, hey, in case you were curious about what I just did, or, hey, when I was just doing that, this thought come to mind about practicing, and here's my tip or whatever. And it seems to be working out pretty well.
You reminded me that I realized recently that there are certain people you have to be careful not to watch when you're teaching a Zoom class, because I think they don't know that they're being watched. And when people are concentrating, some people make the most, just almost angry or just
the concentration face.
Yeah. It can be as a teacher, it can be very distracting.
Yeah.
I mean, I do a tiny bit of teaching, but I think you're right. Enthusiasm is so key, because it's almost like the student really wants to be enthusiastic. So you're almost teaching them to be enthusiastic about learning. And that's the first step for sure.
The first class I ever did, I got thrown into it. I wasn't even planning to teach, but I had to teach a bass class and a baritone class at the same time. I was traveling as Dani's kind of footman.
Oh yeah, on the festival circuit.
And I got thrown into this class in Albuquerque, and
bass and baritone, same class, 1 hour. It was really cool.
But there's this one lady who is nearly blind and also quite hard of hearing. So I was doing okay keeping it together, sort of, until this lady walked up, and she just didn't explain what she was doing, but she started standing like this far in front of me.
With these big glasses.
Just staring down at my ukulele like this.
I was in the back.
And man, it was really confusing.
Yeah.
What about question for both of you? What do you most enjoy about teaching?
Oh, the people.
When somebody does have one of those moments, when you see that somebody's really enjoying themselves and it feels like you made a difference.
Learning music, especially later in life, is it's kind of a brave thing to do, Many of them come with all kinds of histories of being told that they were stupid in music, or that they had these teachers, it seems like everyone has a story of their piano teacher slapping their fingers, or their mother or their sister telling them to shut up, stop singing. And they did for 50 years. And now they're back, and they're a lot of them are really insecure about if they're able to learn something completely new. So my favorite part is being with them during that part of their journey. I can teach them all kinds of things, but it's always like, what is it that you want to learn? What is it that's going to help you with your self-expression? That's the whole point of playing music. And all of them want to do it without staring at a piece of paper. They want to do it play by heart. How can we get to the place where you can play by heart with confidence and also understand that your brain is totally capable of doing it?
How about a tip then? What about a tip for a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced player? Just one tip for each kind of section.
Oh. For each one, huh?
I mean, for a beginner, the first thing I would say is keep your ukulele out on a stand that's close by.
Oh, yeah.
The hardest thing, the thing that's your biggest nemesis as a beginner is losing traction and just having it kind of drift and not be part of your life anymore. So keep your ukulele out. And I would say no matter what, spend 5 minutes every day. Don't spend 35 minutes once a week, but spend 5 minutes every day.
Yeah, if you can
that's all it is.
Get your ukulele in your hands every day. That really works for all three.
And I would learn one chord a day. And then when I learned the next chord the next day, I would make sure that I could switch between the first one and the next one. But I wouldn't go any further than that. And then on day 3, I would learn a third chord and I would switch between those 3. And then I would stay on those for about a week and learn as many songs as I could with those 3 chords. Yeah. And do that for about a month. And then, I mean, with 3 chords, as you know, you can do almost anything.
Don't bite off more than you can chew in that lesson. A lot of people try to they'll start just a step higher than they should, or their expectations of themselves are a little higher than they should be from an organic human way. It's like we forget that we're organic and we're human, and that there's a very specific way that our brain learns. Understanding how the brain works is a big thing for me. It's like very, very helpful. But I suppose if I had one thing for all 3 of them would be do small movements, whatever it is you're working on. Like for the beginners, if it's a couple of new chords, you've got to very slowly do the movements back and forth. Your fingers are going to need more time on it than your conscious mind is. You're going to get bored before your fingers have got the information down. So you've got to be okay with being meditative and repeat. And once you feel pretty good about that, then add on. No matter what level you're at, I would say that would be my major advice.
Yeah, perfect.
But repeat.
Be patient. Be patient with your progress.
And listen to the song that you want to learn. Listen to the original song on repeat.
Always listen. Yeah. Listen.
You'll learn so much more than you think you will just by listening.
Yeah, and you can play along. Playing along with recordings is a good thing. Yeah. Also, when you're a beginner, always, be aware of how you're supposed to be holding your ukulele. Don't develop habits that are going to cause your wrists to do things that are going to cause any sort of repetitive motion pains and stuff like that. There's a lot of people who get really into it, play all the time, and then have to stop because they're doing something that is hurting their body.
Yeah. Great tip.
So as soon as you can, start building awareness for how to hold the ukulele right and how to sit, stand up, and breathe. And Dani's actually
breathing
really accomplished with as Dani was a yoga instructor for a while.
For just a minute.
So, but as a result, you're very aware of the ergonomics and the breathing and the kind of being at peace with what you're doing and the mindfulness of a practice session that can be very important.
Yeah. I'm pretty aware of what my body's doing at all times, the little aches and pains and things. So I always remind my students, as I feel the pain, I go, okay, everybody, make sure you're sitting up. And it's because I've started to either lean forward or lean back. So but breathing deeply while you practice. That's something we forget. We hold our breath and then you'll get stressed out and then you'll avoid practice because it's such a stressful experience. You should feel better after practice than before.
Yeah. Breathing is key. I learned to ride a motorcycle a few years ago, and I asked a sort of mentor of mine, and she just said, "Remember to breathe." And that was the number one thing that helped me. I was like, okay,
wow,
it's all right. Yeah, it's all good. Well, all 3 of us are actually Romero Creations artists. So let's talk about Pepe Romero a little bit. How did you guys meet Pepe, and what's the journey been like so far?
Well, I met him at the NAMM show.
We met him through Daniel Ho.
No, I met him sooner, though.
You knew him before Daniel?
Yeah. There's a woman named Mim. I guess Daniel wasn't there when I met him. Mims Ukes. She's fantastic. She lives in the Midwest someplace. She's great. Blue hair.
She lives in West Virginia on the coast.
Yeah.
East Coast.
With a gaggle of children and animals. Yeah.
Children and
Yeah.
animals, yeah. And this was back when Pepe didn't have a booth. He had 3 instruments. He had one of each size that he had just built. They were the prototypes. And I happened to be hanging with Mim and my friend Gian. And Mim said, I'm going to go meet this guy Pepe up in the hotel in one of the, or maybe at the NAMM show in one of the rooms or something. And it was really like kind of down a hallway in front of a window kind of a thing. Traipsed over there. And, you know, he's such a sweetheart guy. He's a surfer dude. He's like so laid back, Pepe. He's just full of love, and you could tell right away. And that was my first time meeting him. And then after that, Daniel Ho and I and Perry actually all at the same time became friends. Mm-hmm. And then Daniel was hanging out with Pepe at the booth and invited us over, and you know, that's how that whole relationship started. Yeah,
very, very similar with me. I think it was Daniel who told me I've got to go and see Pepe in the hotel. It must have been the same year, I think. Yeah, and they're just incredible instruments, aren't they? I mean, I play a Spalted Mango concert as my kind of main stage instrument, and I've got a tiny tenor and a custom, and yeah, they're just amazing instruments. Yeah, there's one here, which is showing on.
I have my custom here. So
beautiful.
Cedar,
lovely custom tiny tenor.
I
delicate.
I scratched it immediately.
The French polish is quite delicate.
You just scratch it, yeah.
But he let me choose whatever headstock I wanted.
Cool. So you got a unicorn up the top.
A unicorn, yeah.
Beautiful.
This is Unico is the name of this one. They're gorgeous. They sound, you know, he's got such a rich heritage, musical heritage in his family, and he went to study in Spain and all this stuff. It all comes through in the design of his instrument. And then he got together with Daniel, and they made the tiny tenor, right? So like the big sound out of such a small instrument. I love them. And I like it when the strings all blend really well together. There's some ukuleles where each string, you can kind of hear it as an independent unit. It's good for soloing and plucking and stuff. But for me, I like it all to like blend together and, you know, create all those beautiful overtones and things. The longer it rings, the more tones come out. Yeah.
They're so even. The Romeros, I've noticed they don't seem to have one really loud string, a real quiet string, or any dead spots, or they just seem to be all the way up the neck, and on every string they just seem to be really, really well balanced.
Yeah, and you would think all ukuleles were like that, but it's really the design and the execution of the creation of it that can make them really consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully built instruments. Well, you mentioned Daniel Ho there. You actually did a little collab with Daniel in Drop in My Flower. Yeah, tell us about working with Daniel. I mean, Daniel Ho, if people listening aren't familiar with Daniel, they must go and look him up immediately. Multi-Grammy winning Hawaiian Californian artist who is just one of the greatest humans in the world.
Yep. Sweet, sweet, sweet guy. You know, whenever he did critique me on things, he does it in such a sweet, gentle way that you're kind of like not realizing you're being critiqued until afterwards you go, oh, I just walked away with something to change about what I was doing, like metronome or something. He was very sweet. I was so raw when we met. And what he would do is he would give me, like I worked on a few projects with him before we did the album together, and he would send me vocal tracks and vocal music, which I didn't read music very well, you know, but I learned how to do it. And they were very specific and very particular. And he would say things like, oh yeah, as an artist, you really want to make sure that your music is done exactly the way you want it. And as a composer, you can do all this and that and make all the parts and give them to all the bandmates. And the way he writes is so unique. So even his bass playing and stuff is almost more melodic than anything. So once he learned that I was interested in the bass, he started giving me bass parts. And then Perry came along and started playing bass with both of us. So whenever we meet up at different festivals and stuff, we play together. But pandemic, it was the weekend the pandemic began that we were in the recording studio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we went out for lunch that day. We did a morning of vocals, got them all done. He had done a bunch of the instrumentation. And then we all went to the mall for lunch, and the rumors were starting to spread. And we were like, what's going on? And so we went to Trader Joe's to get some food for like dinner, and there was almost no food on this is in LA.
Full of people, and everybody was like kind of scrambling for the last things on the shelves.
Yeah, Perry jokes that somebody walked and kicked an onion underneath the thing, and Perry ran under and grabbed it. Like, I got an onion. But
what
like
a time!
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we all went back to Daniel's place that night, and all of us were going, should we leave town? Like, should we go back up and shelter in place? But anyway, that's the album was. It was really amazing working with him on that, because he said, have you written any songs? I sent him a couple of ideas. I had a bunch of ideas, but all of them unfinished. And then what he would do is take my ideas and he would kind of put them through the filter of his 5-part composition strategy that he does. And then he added all of these gorgeous, colorful sounds, is what he calls them, on top. So it was very much a back and forth collaborative kind of a thing. He'd send me things to learn, and I'd learn the melody the way he sent it back to me, but then I'd change it sometimes accidentally and sent him a recording back. And he'd say, I really like what you did there on that one part.
Yeah, totally intentional. That was my plan.
Yeah, I learned a lot from him. And one of them was just how to be excellent as a musician. It really brought up my, not my threshold, but, my standards, my own personal standards of practice and metronome playing. I learned how to use a metronome, and I hadn't done any of that before. I was kind of more like just free flowing, just whatever. I've got natural talent. But I feel like over 3 years, I think we worked together and definitely taught me a lot about how to be an excellent musician and not just a talented one.
That's an important thing you mentioned. For back to the advice for beginning, intermediate, and advanced students is use a metronome.
It's your friend.
Even if you think you don't need it, just use it. Keep using it, because there's nothing worse than having somebody else tell you need to use it. I think there's always somebody with better timing than you that will notice the discrepancies.
Yeah.
No, I've never met a more meticulous musician than Daniel. That's for sure. You mentioned as well earlier the Reno Uke Fest. So you guys kind of run the Reno Uke Fest, as far as I can gather. Can you tell us about that?
We do, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the 5th year for us, but it's the 18th year for the festival. So it's Doug Reynolds started it back in 2009. So like right when everything was taken off. And he ran it for 12 years. And then he called me up one day and said, both of my daughters are not interested in taking over the festival. What do you think about you and Perry doing it? And it was a difficult decision because
it was the pandemic. So
it's right. Oh yeah.
No, it
pandemic pretty much made him retire.
And so it was a risk. We didn't know if nobody knew if people were going to show up or if it was going to be. And in fact, there were some issues. Pretty down year, and we had to. We had to encourage people to keep their distance. And I don't know if this was the case in Australia at all, but there was quite a mask controversy here in the United States.
And
somewhat.
Many people really didn't want to vaccinate, and they didn't want to. Yeah. There was no vaccine at that time, though. It wasn't the first year. They didn't have one yet, but a lot of people were against masks.
Yeah.
And so we had to, did we say you have to wear a mask? I think we did the first year.
We were like
probably
strongly encouraged. Yeah.
We
wore them.
We wound up alienating a few people.
But if you're getting a whole bunch of people together, especially people in a demographic that is the most vulnerable, we are responsible for that.
Yeah.
So we just said
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, we're not going to,
Yeah. But the festival, this is year 5. And we actually just hired our last artist today. Gerald Ross is going to be coming to join us.
Well, we have one more slot to fill.
We have one more to fill, but we've got,
We have a candidate.
We've got Aaron and Nicole Kime coming, and their friend Larry Wyatt, who's new on the circuit. He's a lot of fun. Just finished teaching 30 years music in elementary school. Really fun guy.
Great teacher.
April Roselle is going to be there, so she's new to us. And Daniel Ate the Sandwich will be there.
Oh, lovely.
And did I miss anybody? And Gerald Ross?
Danny and I.
And us?
Of course.
And, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, And I think it's about 48 workshops altogether.
Cool.
And this last year, we focused a lot on open mic. So we've got the public stage, which is just anybody can come up and check it out. And we did a lot of performance-based workshops.
A student of Dani's, actually, who's retired. He was the head of the drama department at San Jose State University for years and years.
Yeah,
He has a PhD in dramatic theater, like basically in criticism. He's a criticism doctor of criticism.
He's a great guy.
He got really into open mic and started going to open mics. He probably goes to over 200 open mics a year.
Wow.
Live ones. And so then he put together this whole set of courses for open mic, and he runs a whole stage that we have dedicated. We've got assistants for him, and he's got his own dedicated sound man. And he's really created this open mic boot camp.
That's a great idea, because I mean, you go to open mics, and you know it's kind of sometimes can be hard to watch if people have maybe never done it before and they're not used to using a mic, all that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, and leading up to the festival, he did a 12-part article on different things like mic usage, set list design, nerves.
Brilliant.
So we're finding a lot of people are interested in performing.
There was a class last year at the open mic, on the open mic stage, called like Things Go Wrong or something, or When Things Go Wrong. And it was taught by a ukulele instructor that we brought up, who's also he's a martial arts instructor. Yeah. And so in some of the martial arts classes he teaches, how, not just how to defend yourself and do what you need to do when things are going right, but when you're off balance or something has gone wrong, how do you correct in situations? How do you deal with the unexpected?
Yeah.
And he took that notion and created all of these really funny scenarios.
Yeah. We were in the very back of the room and didn't realize what was going on. And he someone was playing and singing a heartfelt song, and he took a chair and just dropped it on the stage. So it was like, bam, everybody get up and pretend like you're at a rave and start dancing in front of the person doing it. And so just working through distractions and, staying calm. Yeah, that kind of stuff, people leave. We hope that they leave feeling better about their own journey, having tried something new, something scary, and realized it wasn't that scary, actually.
Well, is it October 21st that it kicks off this year?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You have a standing invitation anytime you come out.
If you can ever get out here.
I'd love to.
Not right now. Don't.
I love the show Reno 911. So I assume it's just like that.
It's a super accurate. We love that show too.
It must be kind of difficult though to kind of organize it from Oregon, because it's quite a fair way away, isn't it?
It's about 1 day's drive, about 9 hours.
Even if we were in town, you do it all online.
Yeah, true.
Everything's online. Yeah. We're familiar with the venue because it's been there for so long. So.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a lot of people question us that. Reno, you live in Reno? No. Live in the opposite climate to Reno.
Yeah.
We've got moss on our trees.
Well, when you're not organizing a big festival, what does a typical work day look like for you two?
Well, we have the classes twice a month. So there's the preparation and the marketing,
curriculum design,
building curriculum, and then the teaching of those classes.
A lot of emails just for various things. And we also started doing an online festival that lasts all year long, and it meets every single Saturday morning. So it's called UQuest. So some of our time is the jam is this weekend. We bring in guest artists and we have jams, and we're building extra curriculum for them and our students so that they can learn how to solo and find melody on their instrument and stuff like that. So we're kind of always enhancing that and building that out.
So we meet with them every Saturday, except those months, except fifth Saturday. So about 4 Saturdays. We get about 4 Saturdays off.
But we also, we tour quite a bit. That's something that we learned was building your own tour. You slowly do that. So we've got some stuff coming up. Actually, we're heading to Ireland, and we won't be touring through Ireland, but we're going to be going to the Isle of Wight Ukulele Festival, Brocklesham weekend. And then from there, we'll fly to Phoenix for a few gigs that we do every year. And then like later in April, we're going to drive down and do the West Coast tour that we do every year, Oregon down to Napa Valley. And now we're actually also planning a little something in San Luis Obispo, which is going to be a little ukulele festival. We're calling it a pop-up this year because we've got only 3 months to plan it.
So to give you a frame of reference, San Luis Obispo is on the coast of California, and it's just about halfway between San Francisco and Los Angeles.
I see.
Far enough from either one where the people who live there don't want to go.
Don't want to travel. Yeah.
Don't want to go to either one.
Yeah.
And so they reached out to us. We met them on a ukulele cruise, and
Tampa Bay. Yeah.
We started talking about the idea of a festival down there, and now we're going to
we're doing a one-day event.
We're going to do an impromptu event. We're looking to hire one artist in addition to ourselves. It's pretty short notice. So
yeah.
You got any plans this April?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to the UK in April, so yeah, I'm out, I'm afraid.
You are. Yeah. No, again, don't come here.
You're going to just miss us.
Yeah, it's a shame. Well, I mean, I would love to come to Reno at some point. I'm sure we can make it happen.
Yeah.
When you've got so much going on with regards to teaching and everything else, creatively speaking, then what keeps you going? Like, what keeps you coming back to your own songs, your own creative outlets?
Creatively for me, I've been expressing myself through visual art again for the first time in 16 years. I just had a show yesterday.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow. Well done.
Yeah, and that's where I had illustrated songs from the album I did with Daniel. We talk about songwriting a lot and stuff, but I think on the everyday level, we typically are caught up with the community planning and things. But Perry's very creative when it comes to music. Why don't you talk about that?
Well, how do you mean?
Well, he's always got a ukulele in his hands. I mean, noodle, 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 noodle.
Danny's
like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Danny's learning the cello right now.
Oh, yeah.
In addition to bass and brushes. She's been playing brushes. So brushes on a pizza box is a really, really good accompaniment for a ukulele group. It's just about the right volume. It's perfect.
Not too much.
Yeah, it's perfect for vintage swing and stuff, which is a lot of what we do.
And you get to eat a pizza as well, so that's good.
Yeah. Usually it comes with a pizza in it. So we recently did a 4-man set of house concerts with Neil Chin and an artist named Avery Hill, who I don't know if you know yet, but she's a very talented one as well.
Folk artist.
And so there was too many ukes. So somebody was doing the brushes. Avery did the brushes, and Danny. They both turned out to be extremely.
I think
talented.
We surprised ourselves.
We were all 4 of us were surprised at.
It's not rocket science.
I wasn't that surprised about Danny, but
you're happily surprised that Avery could do it too.
No, I didn't know Avery. I know you usually take to stuff pretty quick. So Danny's playing all of these different musical instruments right now. I'd say right now we're more into our craft than our art.
Yeah.
We're sort of immersed in becoming just better players. I'm thinking about improvising a lot all the time, and working on scales and different doodads.
Beautiful little jazz phrases, and he's got little names for the phrases. So he's got like a chicken chimichanga and a couple of beers. Chicken chimichanga and a couple of beers.
Chicken chimichanga and a couple of beers.
Or like the mosquito, beep beep, beep beep, beep beep. Like he's got a whole system of the zoo blues.
Oh, well, you're a Reno 911 fan. That episode and the installation is free.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, well, that's one of my riffs. Yeah, so I can use that as a vignette, as a piece of melodic material that you can take and you can build phrases and sentences.
Yeah.
One thing I was told once is that when we communicate as human beings talking, we use a surprisingly large amount of metaphors and anecdotes and So we actually, at least I do. I'm always saying things like putting the cart before the horse, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you do that music?
Yeah, you learn all of these cliches and metaphors. You just learn these ways of expressing things.
Oh, and then you just build them together.
And then you can call upon them. You know that a certain phrase will represent a certain vibe or mood or create an effect. And then so you certain types of punctuation are in each phrase, and you can call upon those when you need them.
Yeah, and
interesting.
I'm learning to play the bass. My goal is I want to be able to play a bass chart, like just look at a chart and play. And the bass is so different than ukulele, and it totally informs the ukulele playing. So I guess in a way I'm kind of veering away from the traditional GCEA ukulele and kind of exploring some other things. I've got some bones that I've been doing for 2 minutes every day. So 2 pieces of wood, you clack in your hand, clickety, clack, 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 clack. So I'm learning how to just do like one click, which is really hard. A triplet's easy, but just one click is very difficult.
I'm going to go get them.
Oh, no, I don't think it would come through on the microphone very well. Thought about it, but I'm not ready to show anybody yet.
That's all right. Well,
the craft,
We'll stay tuned for your bone solo.
They're not real bones. They're nowadays.
Well,
they're wood. Like... They're wood. They're 2 curved pieces of wood that sit opposite one another.
No, actually, it turns out they face the same direction.
Okay.
I just learned that. So I was holding them wrong for a long time.
What about the spoons? Have you tried the spoons?
These are similar, but
yeah.
Got some spoons that attach. I got them at a ukulele festival. Yeah, they sound great. I haven't practiced with them yet. My plan is to be able to show up with my sticks and my bones. My brushes and my bones, and be able to play the bass or the ukulele.
Shaker. Dani's actually
I've got some shakers. I can do a cool little clicking the shakers at the same time as playing them. I got a cool little bossa rhythm. So I need to work on the longevity of that, because one hand gets tired and you're thinking, I'll just switch. No, I haven't been practicing with my non-dominant hands.
Yeah. You can't just switch.
But I want to show up with a pocket full of instruments and just be able to join any group as something different.
Yeah, what a cool idea.
Everybody plays ukulele.
I think the idea of actually just getting to where you're going and then acquiring the instruments that you need is an exciting idea.
Like the pizza box.
Like the pizza box, and then you can get like a Slim Fast bottle and fill it up with rocks or something like that. Or
sure, yeah.
I don't know. For example,
in a pinch, we could do it that way.
And then we don't have to. I'm really almost obsessed with traveling light. So whenever we have like a festival tour and stuff, we have to bring we have a lot of instruments, right? So we've got a baritone, a bass, and a tenor that we always travel with.
Yeah.
So that leaves us one carry-on.
So we flip back and forth.
We don't check our luggage because we can't take the chance of something not getting there. So like all of my clothes are going into the ukulele cases. I have to, a lot of them are down in the hole of the bass. So that's solid.
Good for underwear. Yeah, put that in there.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, but we did learn finally that you don't put it in until you go through security, because in one place in Texas they made him take everything.
They made me take everything out. They were just to analyze what was going on. So
now we just carry all of our bags in, and once we get past security, he stuffs everything together so we can actually get on the plane.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, I mean, that is the definition of creativity, I think.
Yes, but then when Dani starts saying things like, and I want to bring a shaker and the drums, and I want to bring they're all
very small, though.
Yeah, but man, I mean, everything counts. Yeah. It's making me very nervous.
Well, one more question on creativity then. What's your advice for people who maybe want to be a bit more creative, especially, in a world that's constantly distracted now by social media and all the rest of it?
Sometimes working your craft, just running the scales and going through the chords and will spark creativity. Nice. So sometimes even if you're not feeling creative, just get your stuff out and start doodling.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for the muse every time, do you?
Well, you don't want to do that.
You'll be waiting a long time.
You'll be waiting a long time. I would say too, I guess my advice crosses over from my recent visual art journey, which for about 15 months now, I've been getting up at 5 a.m. to do art before the day begins. Not that you guys have to do that. or people watching have to do that to be creative. But what I found was if you're doing it consistently, then the pressure during that time that you do sit down to do it is not an immense amount of pressure. It's once it becomes a habit, especially if you can make it a daily habit, you sit down, you're going to go, well, whatever I get through today, I'll get through. And before I know it, I'll be sitting here again tomorrow. And I can trust myself that I will sit down here tomorrow. So today's practice session doesn't have to include all of my dreams. And I don't have to get frustrated with the time it takes to learn every single thing, because it takes time for your brain to build the neural pathway. It's just how it is. And it takes time for everybody at any age to build the neural pathway. And it's the consistency that builds the pathway. When you start to get emotional, my personal experience, I would get so emotional because somehow I felt like if I struggled, it meant that I wasn't talented.
Yeah.
But I've learned so much now from experience and from reading and things and talking to people that the best thing you can do is remain calm, peaceful, and consistent. And you'll find, oh my God. And then you'll start experimenting because you go, well, I have 30 minutes to do or whatever your time frame is. And maybe today I'll try this. Maybe tomorrow I'll try this. You don't want to veer too far, of course, from your one singular path. But if you're going to be getting creative, you need to try things you haven't tried before, or try a new chord, or, pick up a book like Daniel's Colorful Sound book. Learn to listen to things differently. But remain calm and trust yourself that you can do it, I guess would be my biggest advice.
Excellent.
What do you do when you're in a moment of inspiration? Say you're writing a song and it's really flowing and you're on a roll, but then you don't have time, or you feel like you got to. I've recently been hearing the advice that it's good to try and finish that song in one sitting if you can. So what do you do? What do you do when you're inspired, but time won't allow? Do you try to kick the can down the road of the things that are coming up next, or do you try and finish the song, or do you put it to the side and hope you can regain the role?
Good question.
There's something exciting about stealing away more time when you shouldn't, and you should be doing something else. There's some kind of sneaky creativity that happens there, which is fun. But if you're doing it consistently every day, you just go I'm super inspired in this moment, but now I got to leave. I got to go do the thing I'm scheduled for. That's okay. I'm going to set it right here. I'm going to leave it out. When I walk by it again, I'm going to read over what I did again. And when I have time tomorrow, I'm going to sit down with those ideas. Or before bed tonight, I'll read it before I go to sleep. You carve out more time later. For me, it was like I wouldn't carve out the time for myself. So when I did have a moment to get creative and then the time went by and it was over, I'd get so emotional and distraught. When am I ever going to be able to finish this song? It's like, if you can trust yourself that, yes, I will make the time for myself to finish this, you don't have to stress at the end of your creative session because you're going to have another one.
Yeah. I'm trying to finish a song right now, so you've inspired me to do that properly. Yeah. It's been a while. All right. The final question that I ask all my guests is, what does the ukulele mean to you?
Community.
A good choice.
Yeah. The ukulele for me is my connection to my dad too. So my first thought was,
yeah,
my dad.
That's beautiful.
But I think community sums it up perfectly. The people that we work with online, in person, and these people in this ukulele community are our family. We don't have an extended family with cousins and all the things that we see regularly. These are our friends and these are our family. So community is the perfect way to say it.
Yeah.
Not just with the patrons and the students and so forth, but also the artists. I mean, I think that the community of artists is one of the most enjoyable groups of people that
really.
For some reason, the ukulele, maybe because it's so unassuming, or I don't know for what reason, but it seems like the artists that I've come into contact with tend to really be modest and generous, gracious, and have a spirit of helping. It's not competitive. Nobody's taking themselves too seriously. Yeah. And ukulele seems to be almost unique in that. And I don't know why, but
I agree. Yeah, I'm trying to get to the bottom of that. Why it is such a unique community, and yeah,
Oh, it just is, though, huh?
yeah.
It's lovely.
Well, speaking of community, and meeting you guys in 2017 and having a chat now, it's been great to know you so far.
it's been too long.
It's been
really
far
a
too long.
time.
8 years or something since we've seen you in person.
I know. Well, we'll have to
That's
remedy
wild.
that. But it's been lovely to talk to you both. And what's up for the rest of the day then? It's sort of getting to the evening in Oregon.
It's 5:00, so I have a private lesson coming up, and I have a couple of emails to answer. I've got some tax documents.
I have to do my
taxes. Might have a glass of wine in a few.
Nice.
No, it's wine time.
There's a strong, there's a
strong
non-zero chance I'm going to have a glass of wine after this.
Yeah.
Well,
and,
enjoy it.
Well, I might.
Usually I'm teaching a class right now, but it's one of our off weeks. So I'll end up doing some computer stuff with a glass of wine, and then I'm going to chill out the rest of the night.
Nice. Well, all the best with Reno in October, and hopefully it's not too long before we meet each other in person. So thanks again for appearing on Ukulele Stories. Yeah. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you soon, somewhere down the track.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Cameron. Bye.
Bye for now. Thanks for listening to Ukulele Stories. If you're enjoying the pod, you can now support it at buymeacoffee.com/Camuke. That's buymeacoffee.com/KAMUKE. To take us out, here's Danny Joy and Daniel Ho with Drop in My Flower. I'm Cameron Murray. Until next time, keep on smiling and keep on strumming.
I'm going down to the water, dropping my flower. Watch the ebb and flow, which way will it go? Maybe rain and showers, or the sun's ferocious power. Either way, I'll be soaking as I watch the water flow away. Take me away, take me away to that far off place where I could never stay long. No, all the ships in the harbor could sail a little farther. I'd gladly leave my home, how bad I ache to go. Take me away.